My name is Brennan Lagman, and Mary is Mary Nguyen. She's my co-host
Hello.
creator. We're going to talk a little bit about ourselves. And to be honest, we are a two-person team. We've been working so hard, like literally down to the last second. And so all of our beautiful marketing did not get into the PowerPoint. It is on its way. But we are so excited to have this event happen. So we'll talk a little bit about like what inspired it. Mary, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes. Let's see. Hold on. Okay. Hi guys. I am Mary. I have been a business numerologist for 2 years, but I've been studying numerology for over 10 years. I've been practicing it for over a decade on thousands of people, and I'm also super interested in spirituality. Like anybody can define that to anything. I'm more into like seeking the truth, seeking who I am. And so I've gone through a lot of healing and transformation. I'd like to spread it for other people as well.
Great. And yes, Mary is a super talented numerologist. We actually kind of met through numerology. She gave me a reading on my name, and I remember like I had tears in my eyes just kind of hearing someone articulate so clearly these qualities about me and give me like really good advice on how to really channel the power of my name and my numbers. All right, and so this is me. I didn't put my name up there. I'm Brennan. Hold on, I'm gonna put my headphones on. Okay, so I am an intuitive life coach and a healer and guide. And so as an intuitive life coach, I basically help people develop certain aspects of their lives with spirituality and with intuition in mind. And so intuition is really about inner kind of knowing. So we have like mental knowing, and then intuition is really more about energy. It's about our whole body. It's about feelings. It's about our deeper kind of sensitivities. And everyone kind of has deeper spiritual sensitivities and different awarenesses. So as an intuitive life coach, I try to help people find their own inner knowing and their own inner voice and remove whatever blockages are keeping them from really living in their most like empowered self using intuition. So things like tarot cards, things like numerology, astrology, meditation, all of that. I have practiced a form of meditation called Sahaja Yoga. It is a Kundalini type meditation. I've done that for 11 years, and I've traveled around the world giving lectures and seminars to thousands of people. And now I did that for free, but now I'm trying to make a business out of it. So I'm excited because I live in Vietnam. I just quit teaching English, and now I'm really just trying to put myself out there as someone who can offer this to people. So that's who we are and what we do. And Mary, do you want to talk? Oh, it looks like Mary's doing something about what inspired this. Your what? What is? Okay. Well, yeah, we'll just join on one screen. I had my headphones on. Sorry, we're in Vietnam, everyone, so Wi-Fi is not always friendly. So we're gonna be on one screen. Okay, so do you want to talk a bit about what inspired this?
Okay. So what inspired this? I mean, it came out of nowhere. Just meeting him, like he like mirrors a lot of what I do and what I'm interested in, like a lot of healing modalities, a lot of chakra work, and figuring out, like, I'm just on the journey of figuring out what is the divine goddess within, what is the divine feminine within. And he's super open and receptive to spirituality, and he's really gifted with meditation. and it's just a very similar understanding without explaining each other. Because of the COVID situation, a lot of people are inside their houses, and it's like, now where do we go? The only way to go is to go inside. And so I was really interested in healing myself, and he's really good at chakra work and balancing the energy there, and he was trained in it as well. So I was super interested in it. And so we just dedicated one day to opening our like chakras or energy centers. And I thought, hey, I want to share this with other people. And
it became a week, actually.
A week?
Remember, like we did 7 day, like 7 chakra clearing.
Yeah. So we thought, let's just share this with everybody. Like.
Yeah. So for like in Vietnam, for those who don't know, we've been on lockdown since January. So y'all are late to the party. I mean, they closed everything down since like the pretty much February 2nd. So it's been a very stressful time for us over here because I haven't been able to work for months. And in the time that I didn't work, I actually got to meditate a lot more. And I felt like the collective energy became very challenging. It became very heavy. It was like anyone that I talked to was really struggling. Everyone that I talked to, I don't know if some of you have experienced this, had a sense of like hopelessness and overwhelmed. There was a lot of sense of like not knowing what was going to happen. As foreigners here, like I didn't know when my school was going to open, when I would have money, how I'd be able to keep a roof over my head. It was like a very stressful time. And so when Vietnam lifted the lockdown, we went to the beach and we had this amazing meditation. The resorts are completely empty here. So we had this whole resort to ourselves for like 75% off. It was crazy. And we just meditated together. And so we had known each other, but we never really spent that time. And it was really clear that we really resonated. And through our conversation, it became clear that we're very passionate about being of service to others. I really do feel like my purpose on this earth is to go through difficult challenges. And as I learn and as I heal from these challenges, be able to guide people through the wisdom of my experience to help them navigate those challenges. And so Mary and I are both very passionate about that. And we just left the beach and I was like, well, I'm not teaching. I kind of want to do something. And I don't even know where it started, but I was like, what about a wellness retreat? And we were just clearing chakras and then boom, we have this massive event on our hands that's completely free. And we're a 2-person team. We've never done anything like this. And we organized speakers from all around the world, which is a huge feat, trying to get like everyone dialed in. I think we have about 15, 16 speakers now. And that was all in like the last week. And we are a 2-person team. So we'll talk about that. But what we hope you receive from this is an awakening. I hope that everyone wakes up to their power within. I find that so much of spirituality and wellness culture is focused on looking outward. This book has what I need. This podcast has what I need. This professional has what I need. And yes, I'm a professional and I want you to come to me. But my philosophy is that every single person is powerful. Every single person has infinite wisdom within their body, within their instrument, infinite ability to heal. And ultimately, anything outside can only lead you to yourself. All of the actual awakenings take place within yourself. And so many people are reading books about meditation and learning the different ideologies of meditation, but how many people are sitting and meditating, right? How many people we're reading from other people who've meditated and emerged with some understanding. And instead of going and meditating and emerging with our own understandings, we're just saying and repeating what someone else has realized. And so I want everyone to awaken to their inner mastery. You are your own master. You are your own guru. There's so much power and potential that exists in every cell of your body. And I want you to just get a little taste of it. And if you want my services to get more of a taste of that, it's not because it's coming from me. It's coming from you, and I am just a mirror to show you your true likeness. And that's really, really what I hope to give to people.
That is really beautiful. Well, I'm super excited for you to experience his meditation, because I've been experiencing it. He's been guiding me almost every day, and I'm just like, I don't think I've ever been in a meditative state. And it's like I'd only spend about 10 minutes or less trying to meditate, but he's pretty much a master at it. For this, what I hope you guys receive is just tools to help you create inner shifts, because in my personal experience, I recognize that things on the outside change when I change on the inside, like things related to money and with love and with successes. It's creating inner shifts, and how I'm going to share that with you guys. What I'm going to teach you guys is through vibration, and I'm best through numerology and law of attraction. So what ultimately, I want to remind you guys that you are extremely powerful. You are not separate from what you are seeking, and you're always whole. And we hope from this retreat that you remember that you are powerful beings. So,
and to uplift the energy of this world, because we're all in different places, and when we meditate, we create energy. And that energy will be here in this virtual space that's kind of beyond space and time. It's magic in its own way. This is unprecedented in the evolution of humanity, that we're able to now have gatherings without leaving our homes. And when you leave this, to go into your home and bring that energy back, to go into your families, into your communities, go hug your loved one with this vibration of love that we're cultivating here. We really wanted to blow the top off this, really uplift everyone. And so because we are a 2-person team, this is a lot of work. We still haven't gotten everything done. So, and this is like the work for maybe a 5-person team and a month of planning, not 2 weeks of planning. So we could really, really use support. We can really, really use support. So how you can support us is in the emails. When you register, I have added a donation link that's linked to my PayPal. You can support us by donating anything, whatever you think is worth the value that you're getting. Just remember, money is energy at the end of the day, and what we give, we receive. And so also all of the guests, if you leave a note, if you want to tip any of the guests, you can just use that same link and then just drop a note that that's who you want that to go to. And so if you take a screenshot of this QR code, that is the link to our PayPal button, but it is also in the emails, okay? So really quickly, here's the guests we have for today. I'm just going to introduce them, and then we'll start with what we're going to do. We have Veronica Lawson, and she is my friend from high school, actually. And she's a herbal enthusiast and a yoga teacher. We'll talk more about that in a bit. We also have Nancy Alcala, and I worked with her for my senior thesis in university. She's lives in Santa Ana. I think you still live in Santa Ana. I can't see where you are, Nancy. She's an amazing artist. She was part of a project where I was teaching spoken word and self-expression. And we used a lot of her methods to do these workshops with teenagers. So she'll be talking about how to use art as self-expression. And then Miss Manji. Miss Manji is one of my good friends as well from Orange County. Well, we met in Orange County. We were going to school out there. I love her. I'm so excited to have someone who labels himself as a spiritual motherfucker up in here. I am here for it, and I'm excited for you guys to hear about how to make a morning routine and the importance of doing that. Okay, so those are our guests. Please stay tuned for that. So that is all for our introduction. Let me stop share. Okay, let's see. We've got 17 people. Great. So we're going to go ahead and jump into a meditation. So the meditation for today, the focus is on grounding ourselves. Okay, so what do you think, what in your opinion does grounding mean?
grounding is realizing and being and connecting into the energy where you are safe in your body. You are safe here on this physical plane.
Yeah, so there's so many things outside right now, and they're just pulling our attention, right? The things that pull our attention, oh, I have to do this, like, I have to do that, especially as an organizer, oh, don't forget this, don't forget that. And so it doesn't allow us to just kind of plant ourselves and kind of root ourselves in our space, especially when we're so used to getting up, leaving our houses every day, working and returning, and all of a sudden we have to stay inside, you know? So then it's like that momentum that's usually going outside is like, where do I go? Where do I go? But imagine how much power you give outside, what that would be like if you could direct that within yourself. So we wanted to start off the sessions with grounding to kind of help people see a simple meditation that they can use to just come into their space. So without further ado, we can all just close our eyes. Okay, so wherever you are, just close your eyes. You can sit however you need to sit. You don't have to sit in any imagined position that meditation should look like. You can lay down, you can do whatever you want, adjust yourself, just be comfortable. And go ahead and just open your hands on your lap. And as you spread open your hands, begin to bring your awareness into the palms of your hands and your fingertips. And become aware of the rise and fall of your breath. As your chest expands and shrinks in an eternal dance. And don't worry what's going on around you. If you hear any sounds, if there are any distractions, just let the noise, the activity pass through your attention. Just bounce off of you. And keeping your eyes closed, you can place both of your hands at the center of your chest. And here, you can repeat silently within yourself, I give myself permission to be here. In this space and in this time. I give myself permission to be here. In this space and in this time. There is nothing more important than what I am doing right here, right now. There is nothing more important than what I am doing right here, right now. Take a deep breath in, fill your lungs from every direction, and sigh the air out of your mouth. And inhale again, filling your lungs, feeling them expand from the side, from the front, and from the back. And exhale. Try to make the exhale audible. Inhale very slowly, filling in every inch of your insides with air, nourishing your body. Hold and release. Bring your hands down to your lap. Now we can take our hands and place them towards the earth. If you're sitting on the floor, you can place them flat on the floor. If you're in a chair, let them dangle. And just close your eyes. And so we think of the word grounding. And the ground is the earth beneath us. It is vast, this earth. It is deep. And it is the source of gravity. The earth absorbs. It absorbs the light from the sun. It absorbs the water from the rain. It absorbs all things that die and decay. And it too absorbs our energy that does not serve us. So the easiest thing to do to feel grounded is to breathe and to reconnect with the Mother Earth. And because your hands have all of the nerve endings in your body, by placing your hands towards the earth, you can start to remove that energy that keeps you from grounding. And now we'll use some visualization. Feel free to allow your mind to create whatever images it wants. You do not have to follow me. You have free will. But sometimes visualization helps for people who have a lot of thoughts. So I want you to picture that at the base of your hand, in your palm, both hands, there is a small seed, S-E-E-D. And this seed has all the potential to grow in the right conditions. Imagine too that you have a seed just beneath where you sit. And I want you to say to these seeds within yourself, awaken. And imagine that they begin to shake and vibrate, thirsty for water and for nutrients in the soil. And first, roots begin to sprout from these seeds in your hands and beneath you. And these roots pierce into the soil, spreading out in every direction. They go deep into the earth, connecting each one of us in this meditation like a vast network of roots in a forest. See how intelligent these roots are, that they know where to go. And now, as we are all rooted and we are all connected, imagine that from the top of these seeds sprouts a little sproutling, the most fragile little plant that is eager to grow into a tree. And as the roots reach for the earth, this plant reaches for the sun. Thirsty for the light and the warmth. So it begins to rise, coiling along your spinal cord, like a beautiful vine, wrapping itself, growing up through you. And as it grows, it splinters into further directions and different branches, and it wraps itself around your rib cage, rising past your heart, through your throat, erupting from the top of your head, a canopy. Hundreds, thousands of leaves opening towards the sun. Falling over your shoulders. And this vine has thickened now to an aged tree with roots so deep, so vast you cannot comprehend. With a trunk so wide you cannot even wrap your arms around it. With branches so high that you cannot see the top. You are here now. So say within yourself, I am here. There is nothing more important than this very moment in this space. And look to your tree. Look how sturdy and vast and connected it is. See how it shades you, protects you from the elements. Makes you feel safe. This is your tree, and you can return to it at any time. It holds all the knowledge and all the wisdom that you need. And you are like a seed. In the right conditions, you may grow. But all of the knowledge of how to grow, where to grow, is inside that seed. No one can give it to you. No one can take it away from you. So return your hands to your lap. Spread open your palms. And bring your awareness to your palms and to your fingertips. You may feel a subtle energy there, like a buzzing, a hum, or a heaviness. You may feel heat or coolness. You may feel some sensations on one palm or some fingers more than others. But all of your nerve endings are in your hands, and right now, there is spiritual energy buzzing throughout your body. So just feel this moment. Feel the beauty of this space that you have arrived, and will sit in silence. If you find yourself thinking you're doing nothing wrong, just enjoy everything right now. You can just slowly open your eyes. Do not move. Try and keep that meditative state with your eyes open. You don't need to look in any particular direction, but just feel the difference. You are magic. You are powerful. Your body, your spirit, your instrument is incredibly wise and ancient. So thank yourself for arriving here today to remind yourself of these things. Yes, and bow. You can bow to yourself. We don't bow to anyone. Just if you want, you can bow to yourself, to your body. Yes, bow to your heart. So I hope you guys enjoyed that in the chat. If you enjoyed it, give a little heart, say what you think, and I'll go ahead and give it over to Mary.
Yeah. Well, let me say really quickly, that was amazing. I'm very calm and relaxed. Before this call, I had some anxiety.
Oh, we both did.
Oh, yes.
We needed some grounding for sure.
Yeah. So let's see. Marita, Mitzi, she said thank you.
You are so welcome.
Anita
Thank you all for joining here. Let's see. We have 20 people. That's awesome.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Thank you, Brennan, so much. I'm more calm now, and now we're going to do an EFT tapping for releasing anxiety and stress. So with EFT tapping, we are tapping your meridian points which are energy hotspots used in Eastern medicine and acupuncture. And so this has traditionally been used to treat people with stress, anxiety, PTSD. It's been used for war veterans who were suffering from PTSD, but I use this to increase abundance. For this one, we're gonna work on as what we've been doing, anxiety and releasing stress. So I'm gonna have you guys copy me. We're going to like tap certain areas around your face, and I have 9 affirmations. And so
Can I just say one
yeah.
thing? So the idea between how we're kind of splitting things is like, we want to, with meditation with me, we want to open, and then Mary's really good at like manifesting, and like, so we've created this space, and now we're going to like work with the energy channels to, now that we've released, we're going to try to absorb what we want from a kind of released space. So.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so you have 9 energy hotspots, and I'll do this. I'll go really easily and with flow. And you can say this in your head if you want, but I'd rather have you say it out loud, because when you're using your vocals to, this is the first step for something in your mind to come alive. So your voice is the vibration. Okay, so just to review, we have tapping your hands, have tapping around your third eye area. Oh, don't copy me yet. There's temples, there's under the eyes, there's under the nose, chin, collarbones, side of like the below the armpit, and then top of head. So first, all right, we're gonna do this for like 10 minutes. So first, we're going to tap the side of your left hand. We're gonna tap your left hand, okay? So let's begin. I am letting go of all my worries and fears.
I am letting go of all my worries and fears.
My tension is melting away.
My attention is melting away.
Being calm and centered is my top priority.
Being calm and centered is my top priority.
Now let's tap your third eye. I love myself for who I am.
I love myself for who I am.
I feel more peace with every breath I take.
I feel more peace with every breath I take.
I am supported inside and out.
I am supported inside and out.
Let's do your temples now. Tap your temples. I am safe and secure in my body.
I am safe and secure in my body.
Even though I may feel anxious, I love and accept myself completely.
Even though I may feel anxious, I love and accept myself completely.
I forgive the past and I'm ready to move forward.
I forgive the past and I'm ready to move forward.
Let's go under the eyes. Tap under your eyes. I am letting go of all my worries and fears.
I am letting go of all my worries and fears.
My tension is melting away.
My attention is melting away.
Being calm and centered is my top priority.
Being calm and centered is my top priority.
Let's go under the nose. So with your right fingers. I love myself for who I am.
I love myself for who I am.
I feel more peace with every breath I take.
I feel more peace with every breath I take.
I am supported inside and out.
I am supported inside and out.
Let's go on the chin. Tap the chin. I am safe and secure in my body.
I am safe and secure in my body.
Even though I may feel anxious, I love and accept myself completely.
Even though I may feel anxious, I love and accept myself completely.
I forgive the past and I'm ready to move forward.
I forgive the past and I'm ready to move forward.
We have 3 more spots left. Let's tap our collarbones. I am letting go of all my worries and fears.
I am letting go of all my worries and fears.
My tension is melting away.
My attention is melting away.
Being calm and centered is my top priority.
Being calm and centered is my top priority.
I love myself for who I am.
I love myself for who I am.
Let's do below the left armpit. Okay. I am safe and secure in my body.
I am safe and secure in my body.
Even though I feel anxious, I love and accept myself completely.
Even though I may feel anxious, I love and accept myself completely.
I forgive the past and I'm ready to move forward.
I forgive the past and I am ready to move forward.
Last spot is the top of your head. So just your 2 fingers, tap the top of your head. I love myself for who I am.
I love myself for who I am.
I am whole and complete in every way.
I am whole and complete in every way.
I will always be supported and I expect a prosperous future.
I will always be supported and I expect a prosperous future.
Okay, now I'm going to have you rub your hands together to create heat. And then spread this energy out. You can feel tingles. Spread this energy out. You can feel the tingles and the warmth. Your meridian points are connected. These energy hotspots are connected. Just move it around. Stretch it. You're feeding this energy. And now what I want you to do is close it, put it into your heart. We're going to close it right now. And these affirmations are now activated. Let it sink in. Release. Release all tension. Let it all melt away right now. Gone. Dissolve. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay. So your hotspots are currently, they're activated. It's in the air right now, and just sit with this. It's absorbing.
Yeah, so let's sit just for a minute and just become aware of, again, this energy flowing through you. And just allow your body to absorb the last hour. Okay, so we have some guests that are going to come on in a few minutes, but I wanted to open up the floor to anyone who'd like to share, like, what were your thoughts? What did you feel? So if you would like, just say, you can raise your hand. If you don't know how to do that, just say me in the chat. Does anyone want to share what they thought of the meditation or the EFT tapping or what they felt? No?
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. I'm going to be a teacher. I'm going to call on you. Miss.
Yeah, I definitely can share.
Okay.
I had met Mary online. My name's Daniel Abril.
Hi, Daniel.
And I know I connected with you because I've seen some of the friends you had in the past, so in a business that you were part of. But anyways, definitely been on a spiritual journey for a while. And what I got out of this was definitely the meditation, definitely heading home, just the awareness. And the meridian tap was, you could feel that energy surge in those areas. And I had actually never did that before. So it was definitely something that I enjoyed. So I got to get those areas down pat in my memory so I can start implementing that in my routines, man. It was really good. I appreciate both of you guys. I love building unity and in the conscious community coming together and connecting. So yeah, it was great. I appreciate it.
That's beautiful. Even me, when she showed me EFT tapping, there's some places where, like, I was like,
yes,
oh, it's really crazy how, like, here and heart. Yeah. Anyone else want to share? Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you. Oh, Mitzi.
I will.
She said it was powerful. She got very emotional. Marina said, thank you. She feels amazing. I'll see you on the next session.
Yeah,
Marina.
and Mary can share the scripts with you if you guys would like. Okay.
Yes.
So that is the first session. So hopefully you have a sense of, like, what is here. And so we only have 6 sessions. So, you know, if you come as many times as you can, and really there's a power here with us gathering with this intention. There's a power. And it's undeniable, right? So, like, if you try to sit and meditate at home and you're like, I don't feel nothing, and you're like, whoa, here, definitely come back. Like, if you can think of anyone who could really use this, you know, like, share it with them. Like, there's so many people who need to feel this magic within them. They just do. So, glad everyone enjoyed. Let's go ahead and introduce our first guest.
Okay.
Wait, Veronica, are you here? Ah, okay, because I didn't see your name. Hi, Veronica.
Hello.
So, can we unmute you? I'm trying to unmute you, and it's not working.
Can you guys hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Yay. Hi, everybody. My name is Veronica. I'm chiming in from California, from LA, actually. So if you hear trucks, forgive me. I don't have the earphones to block that out, but I'm going to do the best that I can and work with what I got.
Okay. So do you want to tell us a little bit about what you do and what you're going to be sharing with us today?
Yes. So I am going to share with you all how to turn your leftover onions that you forgot in your kitchen. And this is just a regular store-bought onion. You can turn this onion into multiple onions by just planting it in a regular pot. And I just have just this regular pot right here with soil inside. You can use a painter's pot too, 5-gallon painter's pot, and just fill it with soil. That'll work. But we'll go ahead and take the onion apart. This is just an onion that I forgot in my kitchen and I didn't want to throw it away. And in order to make more and more of an abundance, especially now, to try to stay home, you want to make sure you keep this part. We're going to open it up. And so the onion is still fresh inside, so it's still gonna give off the aroma, and it's still gonna give off, you may cry while you cut this onion. If you do notice a little mold around your onion because it is old, just go ahead and cut that mold off. If it's overgrown and it's taken over the onion, then you'll probably have to throw it away. But if the mold is only on one side, you can just cut that side off. Cutting down to the center, making sure you keep this part because this is where the rest of the onions are going to grow from. You can also do this with your potatoes. The potatoes you will have to leave out. I do have a potato here, right here. I'll show you right after.
Wait, you said a potato you'll have to what?
You'll have to leave out. So for the potatoes, you'll see the eyes have grown out, and those are the roots. For every eye, you'll get a potato. And so when you cut the potato.
Wow, I thought they were like evil things.
I know.
So yeah, for every eye on the potato that has grown out, you'll get a potato. That is the root itself. With the potato, you cut it up, and you'll need to leave it out for a good day to 3 days to dry out. If you put the potato in right away, it can mold, and then it might mold the rest of the soil in there, and then you'll have to turn it. So letting it dry out a little bit longer is key. And that's for the potato. So with this one, it looks like we're just gonna get one right here. Can you peel it down till you see the stalk? Right here is the stalk. So there. So this right here is just the overgrown onion itself. This is where the roots are going to grow out from. There's different methods to do this. You can place this in a cup of water and watch the roots grow, and then take this itself and then plant it in there itself. Or you can take this and plant it in straight into the soil and keep it out of the sun. You want to keep it out of the sun? Yeah, you want to keep it out of the sun for a good 2 weeks so that the roots can actually grow within the soil and actually root itself in the soil itself. This right here, just take it, just make some room. And then when you bury it in, you want to make sure you bury it to the base of the stalk. And as you bury it to the base of the stalk, think of tucking yourself in. You want to tuck the onion in, the root of the onion, the base of the onion, all the way in. And then bring it up.
This is inspiring. I need a garden.
Yes.
I don't remember the last time my hands were in dirt.
And so I originally grew up with a big yard, a big front yard, and a big backyard. And I currently live in the city, and I live in the condo. And so I don't have much of a gardening space. This right here is my gardening space. This, I get a lot of pots to put my hands into just so I can ground myself in itself. And it really does help, even if you just get your hands in some dirt. That right there is it's set. And then from there, we'll water it a bit. I think my daughter, oh no, she didn't. You want to water around the edges right here to encourage the roots to reach for the water.
Yeah. Dang, we're gonna get a garden.
Yeah.
So this in itself is really grounding for me. It was always grounding for me to actually, when I was living at home with my mom growing up, and she was actually a really inspiration because she had a lot of herbs, which inspired me to grow my own herb garden. So from here, we're going to keep this out of the sun for a good week or two to allow the roots just to reach into the soil and reach out. From after that, you want to gradually put it into the sun. I mean, it's a root plant, so it's going to grow without any sunlight in the ground itself. It'll be ready, I would say, in a good 2 to 3 months. With the potatoes, that will be a longer process. So I'm putting that to the side. I'm not going to plant the potato right now because, like I was telling you, it does need to stay out. And I just heard about this event and I'm very grateful to be a part of it. Thank you so much. But I just heard about this yesterday. Had I had a little bit more time to prepare, I would have had this prepared for all of you just to see it. So this right here is the potato itself. As you can tell, I forgot about it in my kitchen. And this is just a regular store-bought potato. Where you see the overgrowth, the roots, every eye, you're going to get a potato. And so you want to kind of dissect the potato or cut the potato up. And this right here would grow into one potato. But you want to leave this out for a good 2 to 3 days just so it dries up. If you put it straight in the soil, there's a possibility that this could rot and you can rot the rest of your soil, and then you'll need to turn your soil and add more just to cure it itself.
Okay.
So cutting that up. And these are just ways that you can just find seeds at home. So you can start planting them at home if you can't find any seeds in the grocery store, if you just want to plant for the future, just to plan for the future, just in case you don't have any, you don't know what the grocery stores are going to have in 6 months. This potato takes about 6 months. So if you already have one already,
that's a long time.
cut it up. And I'm just going to cut it up now just because I'm already in the process of doing so. Also, the starch in the potato is what's going to give the potato energy to grow. So the more starch that you leave on the potato, that is going to be the energy that it gives the potato in order to grow. Okay. I'm going to put these to the side, and I'm going to show you some of my herbs that I have been working on. And so with herbs, I transplanted most of my herbs from my mother's garden because that is where I learned how to garden, is with herbs in itself. One of the herbs that I had transplanted is my Western mugwort, which is also estafiate. Estafiate is the Spanish term. It's what my mom told me that it was called, and I had to look it up because I didn't know the English term. After I looked it up, it is the Western mugwort. This is what she looks like.
It's the Western.
So, Western mugwort.
Mugwort.
So this right here, she was extremely just sad. She looked like the one next to it. I don't know if you could tell. There's green everywhere. Oh yeah, she looked like that one right there. Now she looks like this. She's a lot happier, and I can't pull from her yet, or I can't harvest from her yet because she is too small and I don't want to take her leaves. The leaves is where a lot of the plants get their food. And when you water the plants, you want to make sure you water around the edges and maybe a little bit on the inside, but it's to encourage the roots to grow and search for the water. And as they grow, they reach out, and when they get the water, they obviously feed themselves. Try not to water the leaves, as the leaves could burn as it absorbs the sunlight. Try to make sure that the water stays in the soil. My husband actually has a pretty good green thumb too. Our garden has helped him. He's a teacher and he's had to teach all of his classes in the garden, and it's inspired him to put his hands in the dirt because he's had some anxiety of not being able to tend to all of his students at once because he sees all of their faces on the screen instead of in person. And so I'm sure that's a huge change that a lot of educators and people that are used to working with people deal with. And one thing that has helped me and my husband has been getting our hands in the dirt. And it really does help ground us. And so with my background energy work, I did do cosmic healing in 2011. And what pushed me into that was I gave birth and I was going through it. And so I needed to figure out how to ground myself. And that was my calling, and it really stuck with me. And so I use a lot of everything that I learned from my energy work on my plants as well. And thank you for that meditation, because that's visualization with your plants as well is another way you can connect with them. And visualizing them when you have your hands in the soil, when you're packing them in, visualize the roots reaching for the water that you just poured in for them to drink. Visualize them reaching for the water and growing and rooting themselves to their new home, especially after you transplant them. Plants go through trauma just as much as we go through trauma. So when you move a plant from its home, whether you actually take it from the soil and put it into a pot, or when you move it from one location to a completely different location with a completely different climate, with a completely different atmosphere, it's going to affect it. And you need to be able to listen to the plant and not talk to your plants. Talk to them in a sense where ask them what they're feeling or what you think that they may need, and they will give you signs through their leaves. They will be wilted, they won't be as vibrant, they won't be, and that is their way of talking to you. That is their way of letting you know what they need. And if you ignore them, they will die and they won't give you what you need, essentially. And I grow my plants for my seasonings, for my medicines. I also mix my plants in with certain creams, and that's why I want to be able to connect with them on a more spiritual level, or on a deeper level, to an extent to where I know what my plants need. And I think it's very grounding for me, and I just wanted to be able to share that with all of you, because it's something that's helped my husband, who's an educator, that he needed to get his hands in something. He's somebody that likes to go out and be around people, and it's something that has helped him as well. So thank you so much for the opportunity to share that, and thank you so much for reaching out to me, Brennan, to share that with you all. And I would definitely use Brennan's visualization meditation on yourself, and you can also use it on your plants as well. Take that and use it with your seeds. If you're starting from a seed, you want, germinating your seeds, you can leave them in the water, or you could just put them in your mouth. Put them in your mouth for a good minute or two, swish it around, take it out, and then put it in the ground. That's another quick way to germinate your seed. As you do that, visualize it taking to the soil, visualize it expanding and opening up. Visualize the process that the seed goes through in order to grow, if you're starting from a seed. If you're transplanting just a plant or an herb, visualize the healing process, because they need healing, they need to eat, they need sunlight. They are living creatures just as you and I.
So that is so beautiful. Thank you so much. We're running out of time, but I did want to say, it's so funny, synchronicities, because we did not talk about this meditation, and I never plan my meditations. I do it from the heart. It's very spontaneous. And so I think that it really shows that we are collective beings, that like a plant can absorb energy, we can absorb energy. And I've done that visualization a few times, but I felt it, I gave it more. And it was probably just flowing from you as well, so it was really interesting to see you placing your hands in the dirt. And I was like, I need some dirt in my life. I really do. Thank you for sharing that. Veronica and I went to high school together, and your husband was my teacher. And tell him I said hi, and I hope he's proud of me, because he really inspired me my senior year. I remember I would come. There was one time that I got super high with my friends, and then I like opened the door and walked away. And the next day, like I was too scared to go in, and he was like, "Brennan, you almost came to class yesterday." I was like, "Oh, sorry, Mr. Lawson." But yeah, tell him I said hi. Thank you for jumping up to be the first person in a day's notice. Like,
No worries. You pushed me too. I was definitely, I was talking about getting back into my energy work, and then you hit me up, and I was like, is this a sign?
everyone tuning in, you know, another inspiration that we had was like to bolster people who like need a platform, you know. Like, I'm pretty much like spiritual Beyonce. I want to share my stage, you know, like I'm like, come through, you know. I want people who don't generally have the stage to like be seen as healers, or to be seen as people who have wisdom, to like, you know, have a place where they can where people can come and listen and learn from them, and maybe inspire you to dare to make your real passion your life, because we're so busy with life that we don't feed and water our soul the same way we have to feed and water a plant, you know. So maybe if people who like you know, you do it on the side and then life happens and you forget about it, like hopefully you can be inspired, like, oh, I can do something, you know. So thank you.
Yeah, like I use it in my everyday practice for myself and my breathing practices, but with working with other people, life got to me. Life definitely got to me. But it's a calling, and it's a part of, like you said, is if we're a part of this connection, we're all feeling the energy, and if you don't understand something today, it's going to hit you in the future, and just the want to understand, you'll get it, and the answers will come to you.
Thank you.
We have some responses while you were teaching. Daniel said, I started working with plants in my house, love the watering around the sides. Angie, she said that was very informative. I thought that was very informative. I learned a lot.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Yeah, people keep saying it was really informative. It was perfect. Everything is a sign. Everything is, Daniel says, synchronicity.
It's a shame how little we have this knowledge, and how integral this knowledge of growing food was so important in the past. And so I think it's really beautiful that your grandmother and your mother passed this down. They gave you the language of your people to describe this plant, and passed on that passion, and that knowledge is very ancestral and it's very primal. And I think it's so beautiful, and I'm happy that your kids get to have a parent that can teach that. And I think we all need to have some plants. I'm about to get a new apartment, and because I was watering around the stem, maybe that's why they're always dying. I need to go around the outside.
Well, yes, and it can also rot the roots if you constantly water at the stem, or if it gets too much water, it'll rot the roots. And so it's something that we've learned, and it's a process. It's a learning process.
Cool. So how can people support you before you leave? Do you have a website, or do you have anything going?
I mean, I do have a PayPal. I'm always accepting donations, or you know, my husband and I started a nonprofit organization called the Soul Foundation in 2017, and it is where we introduce soccer and yoga, and we combine academic achievements with those activities. Not only yoga, but arts in itself, you know, sports, arts, and yoga, and we combine that with academic achievement. My husband actually made an anthology with his soccer students, and now they are all published student authors through that program. And so we were actually really happy about that. For whatever reason, we do have a website, but we need to call our website provider because it just started acting up. But if it does work on your end, you can look it up. It's called the LaySoulFoundation.org. We were just checking on it yesterday, and we're like, what's going on here? So we do need to look that up. And you can find us on social media, though, on both platforms, Instagram and
So yeah, if you guys want to support Veronica and her husband, again, we'll post the PayPal donation link, and then in your notes, make sure to write that you want to donate to her. And also, if you can't find a place to put your notes, please email me and let me know, because this is all new to us as well. Thank you so much, Veronica. We have to move on to the next person. And so we are going to see, what is this?
Just a few more comments of Paris saying it's inspiring her to start her own garden. Kelly said she's started to grow her own fruit and vegetables and finds that it helps to relax. Absolutely. This video was super relaxing for me.
She said that like when you were peeling the onion.
I was like, I'm so relaxed.
And I was a bit worried too, because I had to plan all of this like from yesterday. And I also, because of what's going on with COVID and everything, I am also, I work for the Marriott, and so I do their night audit. And so I work graveyard shifts. And so straight from my graveyard shift, it does feel good to sit down sometimes and enjoy the garden and enjoy just to relax and ground myself again.
Cool.
Being on a flip schedule, it's tough sometimes.
Okay, thank you very much. And yeah, let's go ahead now and get, what is that? Cancel spotlight. Nancy. Miss Nancy. Hi.
Hey there.
Can you mute? Hold on.
All right.
So Nancy, hi. Wait.
Hey.
How do we? Sorry, wanna. Okay. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning. Well, it's morning here, Southern California, here in Santa Ana. Thank you so much for that meditation, and also the gardening worked really well. I love that you were able to use the onion, and you know, once you see that sprout start to come up, you can use the rest of the onion and then replant that you know, the sprouting piece into your garden, and you'll have another onion. That's super cool.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started. What I have for you today is healing through visual art. And my name is Nancy Alcala. You can find me on Instagram as the Clay Artivist. And what we're going to be, I just want to shortly introduce myself. I'm a maker, a teacher, an artist, an activist, a mental health advocate. And over the last 10 years, I've really dedicated myself toward equity, justice, and education. Primarily, I'm a teacher candidate currently. In the arts, I started a mobile art studio that focuses on life enrichment in my cities for my most vulnerable populations. And I also do work with food sovereignty. So I've helped with starting gardens. And my focus group is primarily youth, but for the most part, everybody. And I believe that self-expression and self-actualization is core for life enrichment and opportunity and health, right? We want to be able to have those opportunities for ourselves. Unfortunately, our youth in our urban cities might not have those opportunities. And so I'm just trying to enhance those opportunities for our youth here in our city. So a little bit of educational background about me is I have an AA in social and behavioral sciences, a BA in sociology, and I'm currently a teacher candidate. So let's go ahead and move on to like a little bit of what trauma is. You might not be able to see it too much there, but I briefly gave a description of what trauma is: an experience or an event that results in disconnection of the mind, body, and emotion. And it leaves a person feeling of being incomplete, disconnected, or unsafe in their own body. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to talk about art expression, using visual art for healing. And so visual art helps with processing what can be difficult to verbalize. We're going to be able to communicate with our emotions, with our thoughts, and our memories. What's really interesting about the brain is our creative expression is stored in our right side of the brain. That's also where our visual memory is stored. So what happens with trauma, those experiences, the mind, body, and the emotions disconnect themselves. So oftentimes when you're in therapy, perhaps you might not be able to verbalize even when it's with a therapist or maybe within yourself, right? You have all these emotions happening, but you're not quite sure how to connect the two. So what visual art lets you do is be able to connect what the memories with a visual aid. So what we're going to be doing is I have an exercise here. And what this exercise is going to let us do is it's going to let us ground ourselves with ourselves and be also be able to connect with what we want to communicate. So the materials you'll need is just some scrap paper, a piece of paper where you're going to be able to make your finalized piece. Whatever materials you have at home, a pencil, a pen, markers, your choice of medium. So I'm going to give you a few moments if you'd like to go ahead and grab some paper, a pencil, something that you can join us with for this exercise. Awesome. If you have a journal, that works really well. That way you can keep this exercise in your journal. So I have over here I'm an art teacher, so I just have a bunch of art supplies. So some examples you can do is markers, color pencils, if you have watercolor, pastels. I'm sure a bunch of us are students. So if you have your little pencil box, works great. If you have access to acrylic, you can also do an acrylic piece like that. But just go ahead and grab yourself some materials. So now that you have your materials, do we all have materials? I'll give you a few minutes. Okay. And I just want to talk about briefly what this workshop is not. I am not a therapist, okay? I'm not a therapist. I am a person, however, who is knowledgeable about our mental wellness, and also throughout my education, I've studied mental health and our personal issues. So if you are in crisis, please go to your local resource center. There's also the International Association for Suicide Prevention and Befrienders, and they actually have a website where you can just type in where you live and they'll give you the hotline. So I just wanted to clarify that before we get going. What this workshop is. So while you're gathering your materials, what this workshop is. So again, as a person who uses visual art, painting, sculpture, drawing for self-healing, and has some understanding of the social and behavioral being, I have developed some tools I want to share with you. So through my own experience, dealing with my own trauma, being a teacher, I've developed some tools to help myself, and I've been able to help others do the same. So what I will do is I will guide you through this exercise to ground you and connect you to yourself through artistic expression. This exercise will give you a foundation to continue to explore with visual art, and you will have a basic understanding of how to use art as self-therapy for expression and processing what can be difficult to verbalize. And by the end of the session, you will feel a sense of accomplishment by seeing your own creation and these visual elements come to fruition. All right, so let's begin. On your scrap piece of paper, so go ahead and take your scrap piece of paper. You can use the back of the paper you are going to be using to finalize your piece. But what I want you to do is go ahead and have 5 words that describe you. So 5 words that describe you. Think of these words as the qualities you can always count on. So some of us have affirmations that we go to. So just go ahead and write those 5 words down. For me, I have love, abundant, resilience, water, power. You can write more than 5, and then you can choose 5 from there. When I develop my affirmations, often when I first began, I used to use ED at the end. So for example, love, right? I am loved. That's past tense. Really what I've began to learn more about is if you make your affirmations in the present tense, right? They are more powerful. All right, so I am love, right? I gravitate love, I spread love. I am abundant. I'm abundant in my energy. I am abundant in the relationships I have. I am abundant in my garden, right? I am abundant in my knowledge. I am resilient. I can do anything and everything that I put myself to. There are no limits. And this one here, I am water. I am fluid, right? All right, so I'll give you some time to go ahead and find your 5 words. Beautiful. So once you have your 5 words, let's go ahead and move on to the next step. So the next step is on your piece of paper, you're going to take your pencil and your paper, and you want to choose one of your extremities. So your arms, your leg, or your foot, right? In this case, I had my foot, and you want to trace that over. If you want to use your arm or your hand, you can use your hand. Okay. So I'm going to guide you along here, move that down and over. Having a little trouble stabilizing this. Okay, so once you have your 5 words, set those aside. And what we want to do is use a pencil, a marker, anything, and you want to trace your hand. So taking yourself back to when you were a child, right? Oftentimes our trauma stems back to when we were a child, and perhaps you never got to do this, right? Or if you did, it was often at school. Maybe that was your safe place. Or it was at home with somebody who traced your hand. So now, when you are done writing your words, you want to go ahead and just trace that. Trace the hand, trace the foot, whichever body part you choose. And I say body part because sometimes certain body parts are associated with certain traumas. And so by connecting with our body parts, right, we're able to do this, being thankful for our hands who do so much for us, who allow us to create, allow us to do the day-to-day, right? Our feet who take us everywhere we go, being thankful for those. Okay, so once you have your hand, are we ready to move forward?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So once you have your hand here, I want to talk about color, symbol, harmony, and expression. All right, so you have your 5 words, we set those aside. Now let's talk about color, symbols, harmony, and expression. So color is very much associated with our emotion. So color is very much associated with our emotion. If we look at our color wheel there is something called color and harmony. So the most popular harmonious combination is what we call a complementary color. So a complement color, and you can see this by all of these lines, the associations between all the colors. So a complementary combination is one that goes straight across from one another. So if we look at yellow, right, violet is its complement. So they make each other look really good together. Okay, same thing with green, right? If we think of Christmas, oftentimes green and yellow, green and red are associated with Christmas, right? Lakers. Okay, so you see that association in color. Okay, so I want you to go ahead, if you have color with you, think of a color combination that you can use. Another popular combination, or other popular combinations, is if we look at our color wheel here, we have a monochromatic. So you just want to use one color. You have the complement, which is right across from each other, and you can see the painting here, what that looks like. You can also use the analogous, so colors that are right next to each other on the color wheel. And what you're looking for here is being able to build harmony with the color choices. So just some ideas there. Triadic would be if it makes a triangle. So orange, green, and then the violet. So choose, if you have color with you, you can choose the color. Okay, so I'll let you look at that color wheel. The other thing you can do is think of some symbols. So symbols help communicate ideas and information. Some of the symbols I've chosen are circles. Circles are just a big thing in my life, right? The moon, the sun. But you can really choose any symbol that you want. So here you're just getting some ideas, right? Being able to use color symbols, but then you can also use line. So I know I'm moving a little bit fast, but you can also use line, and you can use line and shape to build contrast. So you can see lots of different examples here. You can use organic line, little wavy lines. You can use diagonal lines. So that one here in the center, okay, maybe that center portion, you know, what's radiating from there. So then you're able to use line to express movement, to express emotion, but you can also use color and symbol to express the same. Okay, so now that you've gathered some ideas, let's move on now to our hand. So you've gathered some ideas, have your 5 words of affirmation or 5 words that describe you. You have some colors in mind, you might have some lines in mind. So let's go ahead and move that to put that together. So I have my foot here. And what I did with my foot is I traced a line around it. Okay. And often that line can be a sense of protection, right? Or your boundaries. What color might you give that boundary? Is it a strong statement? Okay. And oftentimes too, we think of fear and anger as something negative. Well, that could be your boundary, right? If you are afraid, that's going to be the boundary that's going to keep you from going in a place where you don't want to go. Or anger, right? The anger that rages inside of you, you might not show it, but you feel it, and that's going to keep you from doing something that you don't want to do. But happiness and goodwill are also, right, good qualities. So we have to think about those things. What might I want to draw or paint? What color might I want to use for my outside barrier? Yellow is my favorite color, so I'll probably go with a yellow. So here's just an example. You're using line, and then you can use your words of affirmation. So as you begin to create your composition, use your words of affirmation. You can put them inside, or you can put them on the outside, and use the elements that we talked about: color, symbol, line, shape, to develop your composition. Right? And really this is to give you a foundation so that you can move forward and be able to use this exercise as a springboard to access other blocked emotions, or perhaps even process some of the traumas that you might have experienced. So here, what I want to do is I want to go around, right? So boundaries have been a big thing for me. So I do want to have that boundary, all right, around myself. This is what's going to keep me protected. Okay, let's take a look at our time just to make sure. So what I want to do is let you keep going with your drawing. Okay, I've given you some foundation to get started. This is something that you can take your time doing after this amazing retreat for the rest of the time today. And use that line, shape, color, okay, to create your composition. So I'll leave you with that. Let's come back to my presentation and then we'll get going. So again, thank you so much for joining me. That's just giving you a foundation for you to get going with an art piece to develop on your own. My name is Nancy Alcala, the clay artivist. You can also find me at Yellow Turtle Art Studio. And if you want to drop a donation, I do have a Venmo, and that is through Yellow Turtle Art Studio. And thank you so much for joining me, and Brennan and Mary, thank you so much for having this amazing retreat.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. I feel like a kid, and tracing my hand was like super nostalgic. Does anyone want to share what they have so far? Because I'm about to show you guys mine, and it's really good. Okay.
Yeah, show us, share what you have with us, please.
Powerful.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Wait. Powerful, resourceful, adaptable, abundant, and loving. You guys want to type your words in the chat? Everyone, type your words. And Mary, what are yours?
Type your words in the chat or say them out loud.
Hey, Mom. You guys, my mom's here.
Well,
Hello.
phosphorus. Well, the red is just fire
Ooh.
because I'm fire and passionate, and the purple is like
Yeah.
the crown chakra, my connection to source, universe.
Amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone
Sorry.
else did it?
Sorry, everyone. We were gonna put materials to bring, but we've been so busy. We're gonna try to get that on the next one. Okay, Angie, wait. Let me see yours. Put your foot in it. Yeah, nice.
Ooh, I love it.
Okay, so we got people sharing their words. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Lexi. Lexi said, that is a fat hand, Brennan. Love, enough, worthy, happy, and abundant. Angie. Okay, Adriana, abundant, confident, powerful, connected, and infinite. You want to read the others?
Yes. So, did you read
Crystal.
Crystal, she put authentic, vulnerable, powerful, joy, and peace. Beautiful. And then Paris, she put love, honest, abundant, adaptable, and caring. And Daniel put abundant, equipped, balance, creativity, and awareness. I love these. We're sending these energies out.
Yeah, like
Ooh.
say these words. Thank you so much, Nancy. That was beautiful.
My pleasure.
I just wanted to
And
say,
before I
go ahead.
before I go, I want to challenge everyone. Now use these elements that I've taught you to begin to really dive deep into some of your emotion, maybe things that you are unable to express out loud, right? Keep them to yourself. There's no reason why you need to share them with anyone unless you want to share them with somebody, right? But this is a way to tap into some of those things that you are unable to express verbally.
Thank you. And so, yeah, Nancy and I actually met. I was doing my senior thesis with a NGO youth group called KidWorks and in Santa Ana. And my thing was about self-expression. So I did spoken word workshops. And then Nancy joined me for one of our workshops, and we did a self-portrait with the kids. And I remember it was so powerful for me as an artist to witness the effect that art had on these kids. I mean, the stuff that they opened up about and the emotions that they shared, it was so beautiful. So art, like gardening, it's one of the missing elements of this world. We need more art and self-expression. I'm great at talking. Everyone here knows that. Not everyone's great at talking, right? So having other ways to express their emotions is so powerful. So thank you, Nancy, for the great work that you do. It's so important. We've got another one, Maria.
Mitzi said authentic, empathic, strong, giving, and powerful. Yes, girl, that's who you are.
Yes. Okay. So we're gonna move on now, and we're gonna invite Miss Smangie, Miss Angie, a spiritual motherfucker, as she calls herself. Angie's like my little soul sister. We met each other. We were working at Panera together. We were hustling. And we hit it off. She braided my hair, and we watched some Black movies, and then it was history. And we actually meditated together. We did a lot of meditation together when I was big into it. And so it's so good to see you, girl. I haven't seen you in years. Go ahead and tell us.
I know. Well, hey y'all, I'm Angie, and thank you to everyone who went before. Like, this is very informative. I'm so happy to be a part of this, and I will definitely be tuning in throughout the rest of this week. Like, I didn't really realize how much I needed this, you know. But yeah, so I'm a spiritual motherfucker, and I also have a podcast where I talk my shit. I curse a lot, y'all, so my apologies in advance if you're not, you know, with it. But yeah, so like, you know, I'm on a spiritual journey like all of us, and I'm learning through my experiences, through interacting with other people like y'all, and the internet, of course, which I am grateful for because it's bringing me or connecting me to other people who are on the same type of journey. So like, while I'm on this journey of being spiritual and learning who I am, and just how we are, like, you know, one with the earth and all that fun stuff and manifesting and all that, you know, I learned that there's action that needs to be done in order to make shit happen. And, you know, I was going around manifesting and, you know, believing and saying things, but I wasn't putting much action behind it. So I started to do research on how to be more productive and all that stuff, and how to use my time more wisely. And that's where I learned about morning routines. So I've been working with this, with a morning routine for like almost a year now. I'm not perfect, I'm still human, so every day it's not perfected, but I do my best, you know, and that's all that matters. So today I'm gonna show you or tell you about my morning routine and like why it's important, and how my morning routine works for me, and then ways for you to come up with your own morning routine, because, you know, it'll be subjective to what you do. Because, you know, now I might wanna trace my hand every morning and, like, you know, say them affirmations. That was dope. Yeah. So the reason why morning routines are important is because, like, when we wake up, the first 20 minutes of the day, the first 20 minutes of that you're awake is like the best time, or it's when your subconscious is most impressionable. So it's like the time where you kind of manipulate your mind to be good, or you can kind of just like trick your mind or train your mind on how to serve you. So like the first 20 minutes is important. I'm not saying like, you know, as soon as the alarm rings, hop out of bed and like, you know, pray, meditate, or do whatever, but it's just like to be mindful of the first 20 minutes of the day. So with that being said, it's wise to not go on social media because, you know, it's overwhelming. It's a lot of people's opinions. There's a lot of negativity on there. So it's like, once you do your morning routine, it kind of prepares you to not take anything personally once you get online. Or like if you get a text from like, you know, somebody you're messing with, an old best friend, or something negative in a text or email, it could be positive or negative, but it's best to like ground yourself and just make yourself at peace, be at ease, and then go ahead and get on social media and respond to those emails and text messages, because you'll be more mindful, and then you'll be able to respond in a way that will reflect you, rather than like, you know, just being tired or angry because someone said something hurtful and now you're just all off track. So first 20 minutes of the day is important when you wake up. Don't get on social media. I usually get on social media when I'm almost done with my morning routine, because, you know, we all need social media. Before I work out is when I get on social media. So I do most of I'll get into the actual routine as well. So yeah, I have a little note. So the important thing for me is I definitely just been going with the flow during this quarantine because like I'm not going anywhere. So my sleep schedule is a little bit different. So I say morning routine, but like right now during quarantine, it's kind of just like when I wake up, which is usually around 7 o'clock, because right before quarantine, I finally trained my body to get up around 6 o'clock, which I was like, great. Now, like I'm getting up for nothing, but it's not for nothing. There's still a lot to do, even though I'm in the house. So yeah, it's wise to set a time, like a set time to get up every morning. So like if you know you want to start doing work at like 9 o'clock, for my morning routine, it takes probably about an hour. If I work out, it would be up to 2.5 hours. So if I want to start working at 9, that means I need to get up at 6 so I can make sure I'm right and ready to do work at 9. So you have to like calculate which time is best for you. I'm not saying everybody get up at 6 a.m. This works for whenever you get up. So if you are like a night owl, you start your day at noon. Like, you know, before you want to start work at 2, what time do you want to wake up type thing. So it's just figuring out a set time to wake up every day. That'll help train your body. That'll help this go a lot smoother. So my morning routine. This, again, it looks different for everyone. I feel like I'll tell you which ones I feel like, you know, you should do, and then, you know, which ones you can just like kind of do your own thing. So of course, you know, wake up. I like to write my dreams out. I haven't been dreaming much, or at least it's just been kind of like all mixed into one. So I don't know what is a dream and what is reality. But like when I do recognize a dream, when I wake up, the first thing I want to do is write it out. So one, I can remember it. And you know, I'm a spiritual motherfucker. So like I feel like most of my insight and like downgrades and stuff is coming from my dreams. Like, you know, so it's just like I want to be on that. So I'm saying this for me to get back on it. Because I haven't been writing my dreams out. I just been like, that was interesting. I wonder if that was reality. On to the next. Drink water. Drink water. Start the day with some water. They say lime water is the best thing to drink first thing in the morning. I drink room temperature water anyway, so that's usually what I drink. If I already got some limes in it, then so be it. I also started taking vitamins and stuff. I'm in New York City, so we're just now getting sun, but the winters here are not that fun. There's like no sun at all, so I started taking like vitamin D vitamins, and I'm also taking vitamin D. I'm learning more about vitamins and stuff. I'm getting into like herbs and all that fun stuff, so, you know, I'm learning. So once I do that, you know, at first when I started like, you know, working or figuring out my morning routine, I used to, I wanted to meditate like the first 20 minutes, like, you know, because, you know, what I said earlier, like the first 20 minutes is when your subconscious is the most impressionable. So I used to just like get up and just like meditate, but it's just like I just came out of a meditation. So it's like, you know, I take a moment, go brush my teeth, wash my face, you know, wake up, and then I meditate, because I realized that once I wake up and meditate right away, then all I want to do is go back to sleep. So brush my teeth, wash my face, come back, I meditate. Now I'm at the point where I meditate a minimum 10 minutes. That's not a lot, but it's a lot when, you know, you started at like 4. So minimum now is just 10 minutes. Like, it doesn't matter what I got to do today. I need to meditate for at least 10 minutes. Like, I deserve it. You deserve it. We have 24 hours, and we could take 10 minutes out of these 24 hours for ourselves. So I meditate. I have meditations on my podcast. It's called Avocado and Honey. It's all about empowering and inspiring Black women to take care of ourselves holistically. So most of everything I talk about here, I usually talk about on the podcast as well. So I did create like a 15-minute and a 10-minute guided meditation on the podcast, but I also use Insight Timer, which is a really great meditation app. I like it because you meditate with everyone around the world. And it's just like after you finish meditation, you have like a whole bunch of like messages saying, thank you for meditating with me. It's those little things, you know, I appreciate those little things. But yes, Insight Timer is a great meditation app. And then it tracks it, and then it's just like, you know, you get like little stars and stuff for being consistent. It's just those little things, you know, I need that. So after meditating, I journal if I feel like I need to. And I say that because like I don't want to force myself just to write things down every day if I'm not feeling it. But like if something's bothering me, something that's been on my mind, something that I can't stop thinking about, like if I'm consistently thinking about something good or bad, you know, I need to journal it, because like I'm like, this is the 3rd day where my mind has gone to this particular situation. Either do something about it, write it out, to figure out what to do about it, but either way, you need to like switch it out, because we ain't got time to be having your mind on this one situation when you could be focusing on so much more. So like that's the only time where I journal. Or if I just want to, my friend actually taught me of a great way to journal. And what she does is, you know, manifesting. So basically what she does is she like write out all the things that she's grateful for in advance. So like, you know, if you're in school and you want to make like the dean's list or something, at the beginning of the semester, you'll be like, I'm grateful for making the dean's list. So then by the end of the semester, you know, not to mention you still got to do some work to make that dean's list. Like, you know, you can't just write it down like, So that's why we do in the morning routine. So like, you know, but you write it, you just write it to be thankful in advance. So that can kind of just, you'll just kind of be mindful of it once you write it out. So it's just like, you know that this is coming, so you know you need to do the work necessary to make it, you know, to bring it to fruition. So I've been doing that every now and again. So I'll probably write out how I feel or whatever I need to get off my chest. And then like, if I have space, I like to fill up my pages. I don't like to leave like half pages and stuff. So if I do have space left to write, then that's when I'll write what I'm thankful for in advance and all that fun stuff. So then after that, I like to read something inspirational. If I don't have like adult books, like short and inspirational, and I'm trying to read like a full chapter or something, just like a couple pages or something like that. So like I have like a summary of the 4 agreements. So sometimes I'll read like an agreement a day. It probably takes like 8 minutes to read a chapter. Shout out to whoever made the summary of the 4 agreements. So it's basically just a summary of the actual book, which is written by Don Ruiz. Actually just finished his other book, Beyond Fear, which is a great book. But so yeah, I try to read something inspirational. If I don't have anything inspirational to read, and I, you know, emphasize inspirational because again, this is going to set the tone of the day. So if you wake up reading a murder book or like a chapter in a murder mystery book, then you know you're probably going to be tweaking the rest of the day, like looking over your shoulder, like don't know why you have anxiety. It's because you read this shit in the morning. So yeah, and if I don't have anything inspirational to read, I am learning tarot. So what I do is I pull a card energy for the day. So I ask spirit to give me the energy for the day, the clarity I need, anything that I, you know, need to focus on, pull that card. And since I'm learning, I get to read the definition on Biddy Tarot. So I still get to read something inspirational. Shout out to Biddy Tarot. And then also the last thing that I haven't actually been doing I haven't been good at being consistent with is making a to-do list for the day. I'm a visual person, so I know I need to see things. Like if you see around my room, I have affirmations and just everything written around because I just need to see things every day. So I know that when I create a to-do list for that particular day or week or whatever, that I'm more likely to get more of it done than when I don't. If I'm just relying on my memory and just knowing what I need to do, then most likely I'm probably going to get like one thing that I need to get done and the rest is going to be on Instagram. So make a to-do list and just actually put in the effort to you know, to get the things on that to-do list done. And, you know, this is, well, after I do that to-do list, I get on social media because like I deserved it by then. And then after that, I like to work out and stuff and stretch if the day calls for it. I don't work out every day, but I do work out enough. So yeah, that's like my morning routine. And I feel like just the takeaway from it is like, you know, of course, starting a new routine, starting anything new, it can be tough. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you just have to do what you say you're going to do. Like, you know, like if you commit to all these other things, if you commit to just being better, like it's just scientifically proven, spiritually proven, all these things proven that if you are more focused and set your intentions for the day, you'll have a better day. Like we are in control of our realities, we're in control of our days. We are in control of how we feel during the day. So if we take just a moment for ourselves every morning, then we will be more in control. We wouldn't fall victim to other people's like emotional poisoning and stuff. I was about to go on a little tangent, but I'm not gonna go there. But also too, one thing that I'm working on implementing is the night routine, because you know, if you have a great night routine, then that means when you wake up, it's going to be a more pleasant experience because you set the tone the night before. So it's not as long as the morning routine. Like my night routine that I don't really do, but after this I will work harder to do. It's just, you know, make sure my room is tidy, like not messy. Brush my teeth, of course. Get off social media at least an hour before I want to go to sleep, because when we go to sleep, when we dream and all of that stuff, everything that have our attention on is gonna kind of dictate what we see in a sense. Like, you know, so once I go to sleep, that's why I said earlier, like, you know, it's hard for me to kind of decipher what is a dream and what is reality, because it's so hand in hand with my reality, because I'll fall asleep like looking at social media and stuff like that. So if I, you know, take off or get off social media. I stopped talking to people 2 hours before. That's okay. Stop responding to text messages. Don't do anything. It's just like back to me at least an hour before I want to go to sleep. Read something. You can do the murder mystery if you want. Probably gonna have a dream about getting shot or something crazy. But I want to read something also, just something just entertaining. It don't necessarily need to be inspirational. And so for you to create your morning routine and stuff like that, I feel like you should definitely consider meditating. Not necessarily 10 minutes, whatever many minutes you feel like you can do, but I feel like that's definitely important to setting the tone for the day. So you should definitely consider that. Of course, drink your water, take your vitamins and all that fun stuff. And when it comes to journaling and stuff, I feel like journaling will work for everyone. But again, people have different types of therapy, as we learned with the drawing of the hands and things like that, or even the planting. So if you feel like, watering your plants is going to be a part of your morning routine. Like, before you do this, you're going to water it around. Yeah, I used to just pour all kinds of water right in the middle of the plant. Like, I'm about to go get a plant after this. I have to redeem myself. So, so you got to just figure out what makes you happy, what just puts you at ease. So just take a moment, sit with yourself. What ease is like the important part, because you don't want to we want to have a good day. You know what I'm saying? So whatever is going to put you at ease before you deal with anyone. Like, I really liked the meditation when we were tapping. I think it was, I don't want to mess it up and just come up with a whole new name for it, but I really do. I like the tapping.
EFT tapping.
What'd you say?
EFT tapping.
EFT. I was going to say EMT, and I'm like, I know that's not it. EFT, yes, I really like that. So, I do want to incorporate affirmations as well, like looking in the mirror and saying affirmations. But yeah, morning routines are important for me to ensure that I am my true self, especially when you're pretty young, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. I just wanted to say, like, what you said about like how you should get up and like meditating can help everyone. And then you said, like, for some people it's gardening, for some it's journaling. It's so important. And I try to teach that as an intuitive coach. I try to teach, like, hey, maybe you can't sit and meditate. Like, meditation can take on infinite forms, right? Like, we always picture that you got to be like sitting and doing this and and like, if that doesn't resonate with your body, if it doesn't make you feel peaceful, do what makes you feel peaceful, in the morning. So if that is journaling, so I really love that you say, like, just, I think what's the biggest takeaway for me is like, have an intention to do what's good, like, just have an intention to start off your day on the right note. And what really helped me with my night routine is like just also not doing anything in my bed but sleeping. I wanted to throw that in because it's made such a big difference in my life, because I would have insomnia and stuff, and like when I stopped, like, I'm just like, I don't do anything in my bed but sleep. Like, I try not even to masturbate in my damn bed. Okay, so let's be real, everybody, that stuff happens. Okay, and so I just like, when I stopped doing, like, try not to be on my, I used to watch movies in my bed. Like, now when my body hits my bed, it's like, oh, this is for sleep.
Oh my goodness, I'm really happy you said that, because I have been having like insomnia, but I figure that's because, like, I stopped taking stuff. But I think that's something I need to do. Like, I've been wanting to do that. I have a whole desk here, but I still do everything on my bed. And like, my bed's not made this morning. Oh my goodness, this is such a bad example. But like, I need to make it too a part of my morning routine.
I used to not make my bed, and my ex is here, Mr. Victor, gave me a little good habit to pick up on making my bed. And now I can't even look in that, because I have a studio too, kind of. Are you in a studio?
No, I have
So like, I have a studio, so I can't escape my mess. So in the morning, I'm like, I gotta clean. So, well, thank you very much. Anyone else want to share kind of like what works for you in your morning routine, or what you liked about this?
It's fun.
Lexi said,
thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Yeah, well, thank everyone for joining. So just to end this, so Angie will definitely post your podcast. You guys check it out. She's got lots of good stuff going on there. Yeah, and so just to end, I want to kind of like, are some people typing? I see some people typing. Okay, Daniel raised a hand. Daniel, do you want to share? Okay, there you go.
Okay, yeah, I really like that intention, because I know I've did the social media thing, and you're getting, I'm in Los Angeles, so I get the East Coast friends and the East Coast people connecting, and they're 3 hours ahead, and I get up at 6:37, and they've make this connection. But I really like what you said about, it's about doing you and having a routine. And when you were saying that, it just really hit me that a routine is so important, because you're establishing your energy and your mindset for the day. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to, and I see that if you don't, and I see days I get cluttered, is the days I'm doing this, and it really creates an out of order.
Right.
And that was actually me this morning.
Yeah. And the out of order does not usually work for me. I got to find my way to try to find the order back, and I'm like flipping clothes, or halfway, like you were saying, halfway making the bed, pulling the blankets up and dropping them. But anyways, I just kind of seen that for me, it's kind of when I get up and I ground my feet and I take a drink of water to start out. And for me, it's Kangen water. I take a drink of Kangen water, and I just kind of sit in there, take a few gulps, get my mindset, and try to get my intentions right. So I really appreciate that. And I want to listen to your podcast. I love the name. God, that's killer.
Avocado and honey. Sounds like a great mask.
Yeah. But I definitely want to hear I'm going to have to check out your podcast and stuff. So, but I really see the intentions. And it's just like, as we seem to be awakening, and like you were saying, having this routine really puts you in order and connects you. And that connection starts being secreticity. That's what I'm noticing. The secretism through it starts connecting. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here today from yesterday. So, appreciate it. So.
Yeah. So Crystal's going to say something. Go ahead.
Oh, and then by you putting that action and doing the routine, you're kind of just showing to the universe or whoever you work with that you're taking your goal seriously, you're taking yourself seriously. So this is abundance. Like and that's one thing I noticed, like what Daniel said, like, when I don't do my morning routine, like I'm everywhere. I probably got an attitude by like 10 a.m. And it's like, why?
Okay, so Crystal, I just want to say, like, last night was the first night this entire week, because I was so exhausted. We've been up to like 4 or 5 a.m. that I didn't clean my room, and I threw myself in bed, and I woke up and didn't do any routine. And I got on my phone this morning because I was like, today we're starting, and asked Mary, like, my energy was so different today. Like I was like, like everything was really getting to me. So it's so funny to hear Daniel say that. And I was like, oh, that's so true, because this morning I didn't get up and center myself, and I didn't do all that, so thank you for sharing. Crystal, what did you want to share?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for that, and thank you for, just your openness and your willingness to just be, completely transparent with us about your routine. I thought that was really nice. So I am also someone who feels like I need to do the same things every day, otherwise I'm off. But it's kind of interesting, like with the whole COVID too, because, at times it feels like your days are continuous. And even just as how we're connecting here, we're all in like different time zones, yet we're all sharing the same time together. So, it's almost kind of like what time should I wake up, or what time do I go to bed, because it just seems like this continuous thing. So I think it's also just as important to remember to just be like kind to ourselves when, maybe we do wake up and forget to meditate, or, you know, maybe we overslept the time that we say we're going to, you know, wake up, and then somehow your day gets pushed back a little bit. I know I'm somebody who can be a bit anal at times when it comes to doing things, you know, a certain way, but, you know, I've also learned with like having a daily routine that it's also okay if, you know, maybe it's not, you know, as it normally is, and to just remember, you know, coming back to that equilibrium is also important too.
That's super important.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for sharing that. Like, definitely be gentle with yourself, yo. And that's one thing I'm learning to do. Like you said, like, you know, I'll get up, and if I miss it, then I'm just like, you know, I'm not saying like my whole day is ruined, but I'll have like a moment where, I mean, not verbalize, but mentally, like, you know, I'll probably say something to beat myself up, like, you know, why are you always doing this type thing? And then I'll snap out of it. But it's like, that's super important. Be gentle with yourself, because you're human, and it's a fucking pandemic. Like, what?
Right. And it's like a lot of this, I call it like toxic positivity culture. A lot of the like productivity culture, sometimes it could be self-deprecating, right? Sometimes it can create this internal voice that can actually give us guilt and actually ruin our meditation when we're like, oh, I didn't stick to my schedule, and so I don't have time to meditate. Like, oh, I'm a piece of crap 2 days in a row, I like, you know, blah, blah, blah. So that is also like super important. So thank you, Chris.
Just start again the next day. If you mess up, start again the next day. It's that simple. Not a big deal. Tomorrow or even tonight.
So Jamarcus, what's good?
Hey guys. I just want to say that I feel connected to all you guys, especially Brendan, because I met another friend of his all the way in Brazil a couple of years ago. I didn't know Brendan at the time, but I met her, we started hanging out, had a spiritual connection. Then I come all the way to Vietnam and meet him, and she's like, oh, cool, you're hanging out with him. And I'm like, how do you know him? They went to high school together. So
Wait,
it just makes me feel...
I remember you telling me, who is it?
Tyler Morgan.
Oh yeah, Tyler Morgan. Yeah, she's super cool.
So it just makes me feel like it feels like confirmation, because, you know, you get those points where it's like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I where I'm supposed to be? So just that connection alone just made me feel confirmed. But then I listened to all you guys, and everything that everybody has said is like the things I've always been trying to work on. But it's like you start out good, but then life kind of knocks you down. But it just goes to show you that, you know, we're all connected some kind of way. We're all grounded and rooted together, and we need each other.
We do.
You know, because if like during this whole virus thing, you know, even though it wasn't my fault that I wasn't doing anything, it still had that feeling of, why am I not doing anything?
Right.
And all these things that we've been talking about, if I had been doing at the time, my mind would have been a little bit more at ease. So I just want to thank you guys for that. You know, like I said, it makes me feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, even though it doesn't feel like it. I feel like I'm right when I'm supposed to be at the right time.
Exactly.
And it's nice because like we might all be strangers who would never ever have any reason to stop and talk to each other. So to just hear and be reminded of how shared our humanity is. Like, there are very strong differences between us. Like, I'm not a woman, like, you know, I'm not dark skinned. Like, there are so many differences, but at the same time, we all still have this like universal humanism about us. The fact that like, oh, I can see somebody with like way darker skin than me, a different body type, and they struggle with similar things, and I can learn from them, you know? And that's what, yeah, and so it's really beautiful. That's why like just hearing you, Jamarcus, like this is exactly why we wanted to create that space, so people could find community when they're alone and locked down, you know, like, and know like, hey, actually what's kind of beautiful about this is we're all in this together. Like, we're all, I mean, Vietnam's not locked down anymore. Y'all are in it, but you behind, but we were like a few months before you, but you know, I feel
we gonna be on lockdown forever in New York.
So does anyone else want to share anything before we end with like a quick meditation to just absorb the first session?
Wait, Paris said thank you for sharing. I'm definitely a visual, move it, a visual person, and writing lists is definitely something I need to prioritize. Everybody's learning something valuable from every speaker.
Yeah,
I know, this is so great.
Yeah, I'm an auditory person, I'm finding. So for me, not writing, but speaking. Yeah, right? So some people are auditory, like journaling for me, it needs to be as fast as I talk. So I actually like typing, but for me, I like to talk out loud. In the morning, I like to have I'll talk to myself. I sound crazy to my neighbors.
Oh, it's so fun being crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm so happy with how this went so far. What do you think?
It was a really good experience of connection and sharing and helping each other out. So
it's really calmed me down to finally get here and just to start. And so let's go ahead and just close it off, because Mary and I, we got to go to sleep and we got to get right back up and do another session. And so yeah, let's just close our eyes for a moment. Tune back into your breath, tune back into your body. And try and imagine or bring your awareness to all your cells. There's these millions and millions of little cells that are mostly water in your body. And if you've ever dropped a few drops of food coloring into some water, or you watch a dollop of creamer kind of fall into a cup of coffee and spread out, you see how the water absorbs. And so our bodies are constantly absorbing. Think of all the natural processes that take place when you're not aware of them. When you're asleep and your mind is silent, your body does its job. It moves the cells, the blood, the oxygen, the hormones, everything where it needs to go to keep you alive. So even if we're not aware of how our body absorbs, doesn't mean that it's not absorbing. I am not aware of how my stomach absorbs the nutrients from food, but it does. So let's take this moment to just allow our body to really absorb the power of this session. And if you find that you're not thinking what to do next. You're in meditation. So like we did in the beginning, place both of your hands in the center of your chest. Take a few deep breaths. Feel the air fill your lungs from every direction. As your heart pumps all of this oxygen and nutrients through thousands of little vessels out to every inch of your body. And say within yourself or out loud, I am here. And just bow to yourself. If you're comfortable with that, just bow to yourself. You are magic. You are powerful. You are capable of anything you put your mind to. And thank you for showing up today and being a part of this. This is not me nor Mary. This is us. We are all one. And I bow to all of you as well. Thank you for joining. And that concludes our very first session. So thank everyone for joining in. The next session will be, what? You have to look at the schedule. Because for us, it's tomorrow morning. For some of you, it's 4 a.m. For some of you, it's whatever, whenever. I am so happy to have had this session. And yeah, we're going to continue, and we'll let you guys know kind of what we're going to cover in the next session. And thank you for joining. Just as a reminder, if anyone found this like of value and you'd like to contribute to help make more of this kind of stuff possible, definitely donate to Insideology. We'll post the link. It's in the emails as well. And any of the, I'm going to collect the speakers' Venmo, Cash App, PayPal info and share that as well so you can tip them. I think Veronica's gone. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Angie. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And we will see you later. Bye.